The following program contains explicit candor. If you suffer from self-deception, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your political advisor.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. And he doesn't use a teleprompter. Randall Terry.
Welcome to today's program, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special edition of Randall Terry, the voice of resistance. We're broadcasting from downtown Washington, D.C., in front of the Dirksen Senate Office Building, here at Dirksen and in the adjoining Hart Building. They're going to have the Elena Kagan hearings open today at 12:30. We're here early in the morning. You can see the crowd beginning to come in behind me. We're going to look at Elena Kagan's record. We're going to talk to some of the protesters that are out here. I'm going to be maybe the devil today. I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. And we're going to talk a little bit about Robert Byrd, but we can't say very much. As you probably have heard, Robert Byrd, the long senator from West Virginia, has passed away, and my mother said, don't speak ill of the dead. So if you can't say anything good about someone, don't say anything at all, and that's basically where we're at with Robert Byrd. We will touch on some of the high points and low points of his life when we come back. But first, let's do an interview. Let's talk to one of these crazy protesters here. Don't go away. Well, we're here in front of the Dirksen office building where the Elena Kagan hearings are soon to begin. Behind me, you see some of the people that are gathering to get in line. That booth over there is for people to get a pass to get in line. Protesters are beginning to gather, and actually I'm being interrupted by one right now. All right, sir, you're a chicken. What are you here for? Sir, I don't speak chicken. Does anyone here speak chicken? I need a translator for chicken. Ma'am, you come on over here, ma'am, please. All right. Say to him, why are you here and who are you? What are you all about?
Oh, this is Mitch McConnell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Senator McConnell, thank you for being on the show.
He's representing the GOP here today.
Okay, great. Mr. McConnell, are you going to lead a filibuster?
He wants you to know that the Republican Party is the party of life.
Okay, great. We've heard that many times, but is he going to lead a filibuster now when it really matters?
Well, he says that he would like to, of course, but that they just don't have the votes to do a filibuster today.
All right. Well, what about just to ask him why don't they just do the fight, do it in such a way that draws a line in the sand, whether they win or lose, they can leave the results in the hands of God.
He says that he thinks that fighting and losing might make them look bad.
All righty, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Senator McConnell and the Kentucky... I'm sorry, what's he saying?
Oh. He's saying, but don't forget, the GOP needs your votes, your money, and your man hours for the next election, because they are the party of life.
Right. All righty, let's go talk to some other people. You disgust me, chicken. Welcome to today's program, friend. This is Guerrilla TV. We're here on the streets of Washington, D.C. As you may have heard, Robert Byrd, the senator from West Virginia, has died. And all goodness aside, all kidding aside, God rest his soul. We pray that he was able to make things right with his maker before he left this life. As you may remember, he has been a diehard supporter of child killing for decades, literally for decades. He was at one point the Senate Majority Leader. He was one of the most powerful men in America. He was also the head of the Appropriations Committee for the Senate, which meant that he controlled a lot of the money that went to various places around the country. At one point during his tenure, over 50% of the money for the entire nation, for highways, for interstates, went to West Virginia. So we can see that there is a history of a certain amount of corruption there. He also, of course, in his youth was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. He since renounced that. But you see the duplicity of the Democratic Party. Can you imagine that if a Republican had been the member of the Klan, how little grace and favor would have been afforded them? But that's politics. Of course, today's big story is that Elena Kagan is beginning her confirmation hearings today before the Senate Judiciary Committee. How tough will the hearings be? What questions will be asked? What will the Republicans really do? As you saw from the interview with Mitch McConnell, the chicken man, they talk a lot. They want our vote, they want our money, they want our volunteer man hours. But when it really comes down to crunch time, what will they do? What will they say? And remember that a lot of the sins that we commit in this life are not just the sins of things we do and things that we say, but the things that we don't do and the things that we don't say. The Lord said we'll give an account for every idle word. It's very possible that we'll give an account for every idle silence. We know for sure that we give an account for the things that we've done that are wrong, but we also know for sure from the scriptures. In Matthew chapter 25, the Lord said, I was hungry and you didn't feed me. I was naked and you didn't clothe me. In other words, there'll come a reckoning for the sins of omission, for the things that weren't done that should have been done. So I've been fighting in politics for over a quarter of a century. My first vote was cast in 1980 for Ronald Reagan, and I've been an activist, a candidate, someone involved in lobbying with Republican issues for a long time. And I've been here long enough to see the duplicity and the treachery, and I've had it. And so one thing that you can count on me for is a level of integrity and honesty that you don't find in some other broadcasters, both religious and secular, because they have an agenda. Their agenda, and I do too, by the way, their agenda is that they want a place at the table. They want a picture with Mitch McConnell. They want somebody important to come to one of their fundraising events. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the truth prevailing, the end of child killing, the protection of the institution and the sacrament of marriage. Those are the things that should matter to all of us. And we have to prioritize in the fights that we face. Now, we've already been interviewed by Fox TV. I don't know how many networks have been here and will be here over the course of the day, where we'll be on TV or in the newspaper, maybe nowhere, who knows. But this I want to say to you. This week and next, you have an incredible opportunity to be on television in your community if you will just take a stand. That's all you have to do. If you will take a stand, go to your senator's office with 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Hold up signs that say, filibuster Kagan. No to Kagan for Supreme Court. Kagan is bad for the U.S. And call up the media and say, hey, we're going to be here for 1 hour from 12 to 1, and you can guarantee almost that you're going to get press coverage, because your local press has airtime that they have to fill. Your local newspaper has spots on the page that they've got to have stories. And if you give them a story, they'll cover it. So go to overturnroad.com, or to terrycast.com, and click on marching orders. And you will, if you'll follow the instructions that are there to a T, I'll give you an 80 to 90% guarantee that you will get press coverage in your community. So let's take a look at what's going on around us, and we're going to do the whole show from right here. It's good to have you with me.
Randall and I made a trip to Europe some years ago to visit Henry VIII. He told Henry that Anne Boleyn had a thing for him. The rest is history.
Moments with Moses. You shall put the inhabitants of the city to the sword, destroying it utterly, all who are in it, and its cattle, with the edge of the sword.
Welcome back to the program, friend. It's going to be in the 90s here in Washington, D.C. It's a hot one. So we're here in front of the Senate Dirksen office building, where shortly the Elena Kagan hearings. Hey, oh, whoa! One of the devil's minions is coming. Let's go and see what the devil's got to say on behalf of Elena Kagan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've been sent here to tell you of our support in the underworld for Elena Kagan. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we could never have gotten this far without the help of Senators McConnell and Kyle and Sessions and Graham. We feel that she's extremely qualified. We've been working with her for a long time to get her to this place. Yes, we want to thank Senator McConnell, Senator Kyle, Senator Sessions, and Graham. They put the P in wussy. Furthermore, we know how important it is for all of you to not be enslaved to your children. Elena will ensure that the blood of the innocent continues to flow. For those of you that are enjoying an alternative lifestyle, as we like to say down here below. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the only question is whether or not Elena gets in. Please, join us in supporting Elena Kagan. She's the #1 pick from the underworld. Soon you'll be able to be married with Elena Kagan at the helm. And also, I've been sent to tell Senators McConnell and Kyle and Sessions and Senator Graham that we really appreciate your help. You've done a good job, gentlemen. We're indebted to Elena Kagan's supporters. Yes, like Mitch McConnell and John Kyle. Ah, yes. Yes, yes. We love you, Elena. Elena, we love you. We've got a very wonderful place waiting for you and for Mitch. But do our bidding for a while, please. All of you who work for Republicans, tell your boss I love them. I love the way they talk trash during the election, but don't do anything during the fights like this. Talking on the talk shows, but when we need you to be quiet, you're quiet. When we need you to not act, yes, you sit silent on the sidelines. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing like the smell of burnt flesh in the morning. You've served us well, and we shall reward you handsomely for your silence.
Well, there you have it. The devil endorses Elena Kagan. Listen, if you don't support Kagan, go to the number on your screen, 202-224-3121. Call your senators. Come on, most of us have free long distance. Call them and say, I want the senator to vote against Elena Kagan. I want the senator to filibuster Elena Kagan. When we come back from this break, we'll talk to the abortionist that's here, the guy in the prison outfit, and we'll teach you a little bit more how to get some press in your community. Don't go away. I'm Randall Terry.
Listen! Run! Run! Listen! Listen!
The first duty of a university is to teach wisdom, not trade, character, not technicalities. Sir Winston Churchill.
Welcome to today's program, ladies and gentlemen. The Elena Kagan hearings begin today. We don't know very much about her. I lovingly call her the Manchurian candidate. But she's gonna, unless the Republicans grow a backbone, she's gonna become a justice who could be on that court for 20, 25, 30 years. That's a terrifying thought. What's your name, prisoner, and why are you here?
Albert Stecklin, and I'm here to try to get these people to wake up, to realize that they've made a wrong choice if they're to confirm this woman, Elena Kagan.
What's the point of wearing the prison costume?
Well, it's indicative of the future of America if this woman's put on the Supreme Court. And we have to ask the question, why was she chosen? Was it because of her judicial experience? I don't think so. I think it's more of her experience in her willingness to redefine what it means to have free speech in America.
What about her positions on child killing, homosexual marriage? I mean, what do you know about her?
We don't know much other than she's an ideologue, and she thinks that it's okay to justify the killing of children, and as well as redefining marriage that is unacceptable to, well, God-fearing men and women who realize that marriage is between a man and a woman, and we should do all we can to protect the family and the unborn.
You know, I want to say something to our viewers who are like, all right, enough already. We get it. Elena Kagan supports child killing and she supports homosexual marriage. Yawn. Let's move on. No, stop. You don't want to move on. Nations have literally been destroyed because blood talks to God. Remember when Cain killed Abel? God said, your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Blood talks to God. And if the blood of these children is crying out to God, how long can we survive as a nation? So Elena Kagan's nomination to the Supreme Court will have an impact on not just whether or not these millions and millions of babies are butchered and thrown in landfills, but what happens to the entire nation. So if you are willing to just set these things aside and not worry about them, then I submit to you that your moral compass has either been damaged or you've just gotten so jaded, you've gotten so used to living alongside of these evils that you've lost your way. You can't balance the critical issues of good and evil, right and wrong. So, thank you, good sir. You're awesome. You'll be on TV tonight as one of our supporters. You can't believe the number of people here that support us. People think that we're crazy for being out here, but there's actually a method to our madness. Why are you here? Why are you doing this?
To show my support for Elena Kagan.
No, I'm serious. Why are you here?
In particular, is to make sure that my income is secure for the future in the business that I have, which is well supported by abortion.
He just won't leave character. No, I'm saying, like Ed, what is our point of doing this for the national press or whatever? Yeah.
In real life, I am a scientist and dedicated to life. And so this is a way to demonstrate to the general public what a horrible thing that abortion is and how disgusting are the techniques used. It is absolutely over the top in any imaginable way.
All kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get on TV or in the newspapers, do something that's newsworthy. Obviously, this is political theater, and we mean it to be political theater. But it gets people's attention, and it comes at an issue that some people think is, oh, it's worn out. We don't want to talk about abortion anymore. But you have a man dressed up like Ed stabbing this little baby doll and have the chicken outfit, all these things, and it says something in a fresh way that needs to be repeated and might not even get on TV unless you do it in a fresh way. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back with one of the words from our founding fathers. You're insane.
I know.
You're insane.
For the love of God.
You're insane.
Yes.
Let ruin come upon them unawares, and let the net which they hid ensnare them. Let them fall therein to ruin. Then my soul shall rejoice in the Lord, exulting in his deliverance. Amen.
Hi, friend, I'm Randall Terry. George Washington said, I have no other view than to promote the public good, and am unambitious of honors not founded in the approbation of my country. That word approbation means the approval and the applause of my country. He didn't want public honor unless it was anchored in the public good. What does the public good mean? We have become so jaded, we've become so confused in our thinking that we actually cannot any longer define the public good in concise sentences. One way would be to say, love your neighbor as yourself. Another would be to say that the laws of heaven are implemented on earth, that we don't kill, that we don't steal, that we don't covet. All of these basic things that are from the Ten Commandments. That's what the public good is. And we need people who will be heroes for the public good, like George Washington was. God bless you. Fight against Elena Kagan.